He felt he was sinking, floating, and rising. A massive clock edged with gold arose from nothing, rising higher and higher until it consumed him. He felt his body be swept away by some force. His body started to dissolve, leaving only his mind and sight. Gold-tinted water flowed around him, as two pocket watches started to swing like pendulums by their chains, meeting each other in the middle to temporarily form a black pocket watch before separating once more. It happened over and over again, until something impaled the black clock. The water's tint changed from light gold to a dark red and black, as petals from daffodils and carnations spewed forth from the hole in the clock, rapidly sucking him into the darkness, plunging him into an abyss. At least he was, until he snagged upon something. Magic blankly stared at the ingot in the furnace, watching it slowly heat up. Creation like this was much more fun. Creating things, valuable things, out of things that lacked value. Their visage over the ingot was disturbed, as something passed through something. It's about time. Magic's body vanished, then reappeared in front of Jaden's sleeping form. The mortal had a hand around his neck, struggling to breathe. Drowning. The human's body was slowly struggling. Magic knelt down in front of Jaden's body, by his head, and sat on their knees. He was stuck. He was going to drown too early. At least, too early for Magic's preference anyways. Magic leaned over and placed a hand on Jaden's chest, and forced new breath into his lungs. They then swept their hand back towards themselves to detach the mortal. Magic leaned back and watched Jaden's hand slip from his throat, and his struggling lessened. They hovered a hand over Jaden's forehead to peer into his vision. Something loosened, and he sank into the abyss. In front of him, a massive version of himself arose from the depths of the abyss. His eyes slowly opened, showing to be a bright, glowing electric blue color. The light became blinding as he shut his eyes to shield them from the lights. He plunged into water and opened his eyes once more. A sky blue halcyon was flying over a background of dark blue and black tinted water. The bird left behind an electric blue streak as it flew in a straight line. Suddenly, a black and red colored halcyon came out of nowhere to attack the blue halcyon. The two birds fought and struggled. It felt like a long time. Then the blue halcyon got the upper hand and slew the red halcyon. The blue halcyon continued its flights. Then the bird was no longer flying. It was being swept away by some kind of current. The bird struggled against the tide in vain as it approached the black clock from before. The bird slipped underneath the clock. He felt like he was running out of air. The birds emerged from the clock, flying just like before. Twin sky blue halcyons, with both birds leaving behind an electric blue trail, with one bird's trail being slightly brighter than the others. Both birds flew over light blue and white tinted water. Something increased the pressure on him and forced what little air he had left out of his body. He started to drown. He felt himself struggle, but lacked a body to do anything about it, all while watching the two halcyons. Water started to fill his non-existent lungs. It burned horribly as he was forced to take water into his nose. It was hell. His vision started to blur and spasm as he choked on the non-existent water, but all he could do was watch the two birds. The pain reached a fever pitch. He couldn't take it anymore. Jaden jolted up as he awoke, desperately sucking in the air around him. He fell to his hands and knees, coughing and sputtering out nothing. His neck hurt, and his right hand felt numb. He was lightheaded. He saw Magic sitting on their knees in front of him. They had an expression of serenity and contemplation. "What was that?" Jaden gasped out, with desperation, confusion, and fear tainting every word that left his mouth. Magic tilted their head to consider their answer. For once, they truly looked like what the name of God embodies. Omniscience being used to consider every word that could leave their mouth, and the impact those words would have. Omnipotence, restrained, to be leveled and focused. Power that could be used to wipe this event clean from the history of existence itself. The strength and willpower to make judgment calls to produce the best outcome, no matter how much blood is shed or how many people get hurt, even if they were close to those people. Omnipresence for a coward's escape. The ability to be everywhere and anywhere all at once. If they wished to ignore the question right now, they could by vanishing, like an unanswered prayer. Omnibenevolence, something easy to write down, but nigh impossible to apply. Benevolence for whom? Who will ultimately benefit from this goodness? Who indeed? Magic gave Jaden a soft smile as they spoke. Hope, they said the word with a haunting kind of reverence. You saw hope for the future. Magic spoke each word carefully. They then stood up and walked over to Jaden, who had fallen back onto his knees as he had finally caught his breath. Magic placed a hand on Jaden's head and lightly ruffled his hair. I have some things to do, so you should go back to sleep. Don't worry. I'll ensure your rest will be peaceful this time. Magic walked past Jaden. Even though they knew he was not going to see them, Magic still raised and waved a hand. Good night, Dynasty, they said softly, before vanishing into nothing. The adrenaline that was rushing through his body had subsided, leaving Jaden cold, shaky, and sweaty. He crawled back into the sleeping bag and curled up, trying to get some semblance of warmth. Visions of what he saw haunted the back of his mind. Eventually, he passed out, succumbing to stress and exhaustion. Maybe he'll forget that dream. Maybe it'll only take a day. Maybe a year. A decade. A century.